This is Noah Bland again. I want to apologize for the technical difficulties that we have been through really throughout the day, but we're finally getting back up on our feet. We got our skates underneath us, and the technical difficulties have subsided. Here for Game 2, it is Tel Aviv versus Kfar Saba. We are getting started. Tel Aviv's roster is stacked. We've been talking about it all year, and we noticed it in the Challenge Cup. As Kfar Saba actually bring it in, but it was taken away. Tel Aviv play a very stable game as there was some pushing and shoving along the wall, fired back all the way in. Some trouble now, but again, some impressive start from Kfar Saba. They're playing hard, they're playing heavy, and they're pushing the puck in deep. Here comes Tel Aviv on a 2-on-2. They can't enter without it being offside. Referee waved it off. That was linesman official, and it was poked amongst the far side boards, now in behind. So Tel Aviv has a very disappointing year last year, and what do? They just gain. They make a lot of transactions, they gain a lot of firepower, and immediately they become a scarier team. They play a Kfar Saba team again that it's their inaugural season. So this is the first game, many first games actually, for the IEHL. We are back up to 8 teams. A big jump, doubling the 4 we had last year. The puck notches off the far side wall and will give chase. This is Noah Bland from Blue Ice Arena in Ashdod. Our first game saw Jerusalem beats. There was a shot back in front, pardon me. I almost lost myself inside of the game, speaking of the last one. But Jerusalem won the last game. As here comes now Tel Aviv as they fire it back in. They beat the last champion, Ashdod. Ashdod raised a banner and then saw themselves lose to the team that they beat in the championship in 3 games, 9-4 on July 17th, 2024. Taking a spill was a Wolf as he tried to get the puck near his own bench, sailed all the way back in, and Tel Aviv will start things up again. Failed all the way back in, icing is the call. It's waved off. Kfar Saba played back amongst their own end, fired up the right-handed wall. Taken in by Tel Aviv, though. Tel Aviv is playing a very structured game defensively. So, despite the fact that there haven't been many shots per team, Tel Aviv seems to have it in hand as we get a stoppage of play. 0-0 score with a neutral zone face-off. It would be very much considered an upset if Kfar Saba managed to win. But, the Wolves, we haven't really seen them play together yet, so who knows? You definitely see a lot of upsets. You can't, if you haven't seen a team play like this, you can't make out or predict how they're going to do. I don't care. Everybody thought the Vegas Golden Knights weren't going to do well, and they ended up making a Stanley Cup final. People didn't know because people hadn't seen them play together. Puck off the far side wall. One more time, back to number 2, and it was saved. A little bit of a scare there for the Tel Aviv goaltender, but he manages to cover. Face-off won by Tel Aviv. There's that structured play again, but they lose sight of it in their own end. And the Wolves have just been pressing so far. Now on the right-handed wall, taken away. It looks like number 21 for the Wolves wanted a penalty, and he'll get it. His stick was held. Who would have thought that they would be kind of the team in charge right now? It'll be a face-off. The Wolves can strike first. I gotta say, big fan of their colors. The gray and, I'll call it Baja Blast green. Baja Blast being the Mountain Dew flavor. As meanwhile, here come the Wolves. Up amongst the walls, some trouble now into the corner. They try to cycle it back in. Kfar Saba on the power play. Again, Tel Aviv mashed up against the wall. They almost like sideways. Here they come. Now, an extra attacker, an extra man up to the left-hand side. The shot on goal went off of the skate of the goaltender, but now right in an off-angle shot. It hit the side of the cage. Still same amount of crowd. Packed house here in Ashdod. Now, they're not supporting their local teams. The Dolphins have departed the ice, but this game still... We're having some fun. Cutting in, penetrating in over the blue line. Now the red took a spill. No penalty that time. And Tel Aviv tried to clear. They can't though. Still some trouble with it. Now again. And a whistle at the Tel Aviv end. Off, to the right. The Wolves will make a name for themselves, but you have to talk about the fact that Dennis Zajac, who played in the Challenge Cup for Jerusalem, scored the overtime winner. He's a part of this new expansion team. Try to lead them to victory. Tel Aviv might get goosebumps when he gets the puck because Tel Aviv, remember, they were down by 2 or 3 nearly the whole game, came back to tie, and Zajac absolutely ruined their day on Long Island. A shot was blocked off, the rebound save. Now they still try to play for it as they dig for the puck. Try to make headway with it. The puck wraps all the way around the yellow. Pounded back in, fighting for it, still amongst the boards. Back to the blue line. One more time to the winger. He takes his place over to the circle. A shot, save made, stopped. Rebound was up for grabs, and it looked like the Wolves might have had a chance to make a move. Again, wrapped around. The bouncing puck falls onto the stick, up against the boards, inside the corner. The Wolves really impressing against a strong Tel Aviv team. They're holding it in. The puck has been in the Tel Aviv zone for nearly the whole game. Trying to send to the pass. That one didn't work. And Tel Aviv now bring it out. Almost a breakaway opportunity. One. And a save made by the left pad. Some trouble in front. Tel Aviv with their biggest opportunity of the day. It was a fantastic pass to isolate the puck. Here come the Wolves again. In through center, just ringing a shot that sailed wide of the stick side. Tel Aviv now still trying to play with it among the back wall inside the fourth side. Wolves have it again. They poke it in deep. Still, they try to hustle for it. Devin took a slap shot and perfectly read by the Tel Aviv goaltender. Tel Aviv this year, what feels like almost a completely different team, but somebody that has stayed put was Cam Angus. Angus originally was captain of Bat Yam from 2021 to 2023, but has since been a big part of this Tel Aviv team, a relying factor because of his veteran experience now in his 5th season in the IEHL. He was a part of the league when it was 4-a-side. He's seen it grow, seen it shrink over the years from 8 to 4, and now back to 8 with as much of a namesake as it's ever had. The puck cleared all the way back down. Tel Aviv trying to make headway with it. It didn't look like they were expecting this much force from the Wolves so far. The black and green huddle it up in their own end, playing smart with the puck. And it's a bad goal. Here they come up the right-handed side. holding it back on the blue line, on the backside, trying to fight for it amongst. Notice how both defenders are kind of parked at the blue line. They hover near the circles. The puck is sailed all the way out of play. Face-off will go to the stick side. Tel Aviv wins the draw, pokes it up near the benches, but it's held in. And now down low. It was cleared back out. Here come the Wolves one more time. Poked up to center, and it was covered by the goaltender. Tel Aviv has their work cut out for them so far, and people didn't really expect it. Again, this is a team that knows what they're doing, full of veteran presence. If you're a watcher of the television show Shoresy, you know that veteran presence is very important on a winning hockey club. You have the 2024 Defender of the Year on Tel Aviv, and Joseph Binfer. Binfer being, it's not often that you see a Defensive Player on the Year on a nearly winless team. So it just goes to show how talented he is. The fact that despite Tel Aviv not really contributing in terms of a successful storyline, they have defensively at least hung around in nearly every game. You also have Yuval Turner. Turner won Under 20 Player of the Year in 2023. That was before the 16-year-old phenom really emerged on scene for Jerusalem. Played in that Under 20 club. An Under 20 club for Israel that has turned some heads. They played Division II last year. Buck now back along the near side wall. Holding it now for Tel Aviv. A breakout pass over to the right. Here they come. 28 sidesteps his way in over to the net. Now in behind, a shot. And save made by the Wolf goaltender. Holding behind the net, and we'll get a line change after the whistle. Tel Aviv, where the face-off goes to the blocker side. Two defensemen out there, and immediately the Wolves win the draw and start out with the puck. Taken away. Here's Tel Aviv up in near the blue line. It was at the feet of a Tel Aviv player, but he couldn't get it to go. Notice that the power play is still on, despite the fact that I haven't really seen many chances as a result of the extra skater. Still 0-0. This is Noah Bland from Ashdod Blue Ice Arena. Back over to the right circle. The Wolves pounded in deep with a backhand. The puck is feathered on a cross as it saucers all the way over to the Wolf goaltender. Power play time clocking down. So we're still in the first period of this game. And we await. Pass goes into center. Now in over the blue line. But an offside was called. Somebody had a step over. He's off in the neutral zone, goes the way of the Wolves. Pass over, they circle and cycle around the boards. Still they wait for it, trying to find some headway, make some space. The Wolves pushing it in deep. They've done a really good job at slowing the pace of the game down. Back along the half wall, trying to shove it in deep over to the slot. The pass didn't work as it hit off the stick in front. The Wolves still hold it in. A shot. Goaltender couldn't really hold until he finally managed to do so as the attack continued. And we get a whistle. So face-off will come on the blocker side. Tel Aviv will have to try and manage. Play with it. Puck won by the Wolves, and they cycle it around, thrown back in front. Who would have thought the Wolves strike first? Here they come up the wall again. But this team could be dangerous. People don't know what to expect. Tel Aviv now on their horse. They know they trail, trying to play a different game. The Wolves did such a good job of controlling the tempo and pace. Hit up off the boards. Shot went well wide of the net, but Tel Aviv kept it in. The pass goes across. Now into the corner, along the half wall. Back in behind the net. Tel Aviv try to fight for it. In down low. Some commotion. And a stoppage of play. Goes across the blue line. A shot, they score immediately. Tel Aviv wasn't going to let that fly. Despite being the underdog, they make it past. The game's tied 1-1. Tel Aviv knew they were the heavy favorites. And after being called down out in this game, I feel like it was fair. Face off 1 over, and the Wolves bring it back out in over the blue line, holding it past the red line. Stick handles his way to a clear, sends it all the way around. The Wolves now can move in to get on by. Might have a good shot on net. Try to curl it around. They chop away for it. It hits off the wall. Wolves now try to play it amongst the boards. Still fighting for it. 7 had a look. He got sent down as he released the shot. Now another drive from number 7. It was carried back in. 7. He's been sending flames towards the net. He lost an edge. The puck rallies itself all the way around. Now Sky back out. A little poke to interrupt the flow of play from Tel Aviv. And they will bring it out and try to clear. Changing things up, Tel Aviv. Bring it back out. The Wolves now on their back check, trying to figure something out on their back skate. Here they come. Black uniforms and all. They lost sight of it in their own zone. Can't manage to find the puck right around the zone net. Here the Wolves come with speed. A shot, and they scored from long range. I'm not even sure that was expected to go in. I thought it was for a rebound. And they go back and forth in a high-scoring, fast-paced first period. Tel Aviv extremely confused. And they might be on 3 since the relocation against this team, but they were heavy favorites according to the IEHL coming into this game. They break up the pass again, trying to tie it up quickly one more time as they did earlier. Don't have such success on that attempt, and the puck flies into the opposing zone where Tel Aviv have to give chase. On the boards, thrown over to the front. Goalkeeper almost lost sight of it, and stoppage of play. So we will come to our first time out and intermission as everybody gathers near the benches and they're going to talk it over. We'll be back in just a second with the IEHL. Welcome back to the second period, and to everyone's surprise, the Wolves are up on Tel Aviv. 2-1 is our score. Tel Aviv back in their own zone, down by 1, firing up the stretch pass ahead. Now on the far side, they try to fight for it amongst the boards. Wolves get it back out. They've been the team to beat in today's game. The shot easily saved, but the rebound was juicy. Tel Aviv cleared out with the backhand, not as far as the blue line. From the circle, now up top. They can't quite get to it. Tel Aviv with the steal. And back in on top. In their own zone. A little bit of forechecking heavily from the Wolves. They sent 3 men in the opposing zone to try to ambush. Didn't work though. Pass goes on in front, but it's cleared all the way down from the Wolves, but it only lasted a second. Here's Tel Aviv again. They circle the net, trying to find it. And 21 can't manage to get it. Leads to a race. The Wolves bring in with many men. Thrown back in front. Here is the cycle. Little dump off pass. And a shot that was saved. But the whistle couldn't come as the puck went up for grabs. Tel Aviv now bring it out on the 3-on-2 to try the tie game. Back in front. They can't manage to make a save. Some trouble with it along the far wall. This game has been fast-paced. Back and forth we go. Here come the Wolves. 2-on-2. Wristing one. Goaltender able to read it cleanly and stop the play. Shot went wide in the backhanded play. Couldn't manage to careen out. Tel Aviv back in their own zone. Hammering hit that sent one of their members back to the floor. And now the Wolves settle out with it from the circle. Some trouble along the far wall. 2-1. Still our score. Shot was saved over by the left paddle. And they couldn't get it to work. Skied high. Once again. And cleared all the way back down. Over to the blue line. And managed to find it. In over to the center ice area. Picked right back up by 29. Drove one. Tried to go glove side. That didn't work. But the Wolves again in the second period seemed to be the better team. Again, one more time up front, off the boards. A shot that didn't go their way. A second shot though, a save made. Goaltender out of position, but he got right back up. Now back inside the corner. They still fight for it. 2-on-2, over to the far side. Somebody looking high in the slot. Now to the circle, a save made. The rebound flew well up into the neutral ice area. They still try to play with the puck. Back in through center. Puck goes all the way down. The Wolves try to play with it. And an icing is called. Face-off will be to the blocker side. Won by the Wolves, but they're pinned up against their own end by Tel Aviv as they manage to regain the puck. Now here come Tel Aviv up into center. Try to find it back. And the puck cycles around the yellow tape. Still some trouble with it. They're back in through the blue line. Thrown over into the front. They can't manage to get to it. And it scales all the way high. Tel Aviv give chase. Seems as though the Wolves implementing heavy forecheck. Tel Aviv just can't seem to get out with it. And I thought that this game was already over as soon as when it started. Because the hope for Tel Aviv is sky high right now, but they're not able to make it work. Puck circles around, going to the blue line, found by Tel Aviv into the blue line, and now out through center the pass. centering, waiting a shot. It was blocked to the side. Fantastic save made by the Wolf goaltender, and now a whistle. So the face-off will come to the stick side. Again along the boards, it's thrown up the right side, in behind. They still try to fight for it, and it's finally freed back up. The Wolves get in behind the defense, but can't get a shot away. Thrown to the slot, that one didn't work. Tel Aviv got bumped into as they go up the right wall. Still some trouble with it. Here come the Wolves, taken away by Tel Aviv down below, a pounding hit that sent one of the Wolves players on their bottom. Here come the Wolves again. Fresh off that great hit. Thrown to the high block, and they've got another. The Wolves lead 3-1. Who expected this? The Wolves sending anything and everything they can. The way the Tel Aviv goaltender, it's worked 3 times. That's 2 more than they've needed. Wolves as we reach nearly the midway point of the second period. Blue Arena in Ashdod. Tel Aviv win the face-off, circling around, and now it's a whole new game. As Tel Aviv have to garner somewhat of a comeback. And trust me, as a New York Knicks fan, I know 3-1 comebacks are hard to get by. Back into the center ice area, moving it around to their own zone. Number 9 flying back in Tel Aviv. Gets the puck away. Again, nice little move to get to the slot. That doesn't work for Tel Aviv. The Wolves coming in looking for goal number 4. Pass one all the way across. Tel Aviv hold it in their own zone. A long stretch pass doesn't work. 71 curls it back around. 71 still trying to make headway with it. He fires it down in diagonally so he can go for a change, or at least get new defenders, but he gets right back out of there. And here comes Tel Aviv. The Wolves break it back up. They're on the attack now. Going for a spill was their forward. Puck was in their zone momentarily and almost led to an odd man rush. It's 2-on-2 for now. Puck finally last touched up. Honored in by Tel Aviv. Holding their own zone. Pass. Poorly timed. Intercepted. And they get another. This game is becoming an absolute beating. 4-1 Wolves. Everything going wrong for HC Tel Aviv. You know, once upon a time, this game was 1-1 and seemed about even. The Wolves cycle it around the net with a 3-goal lead. You know, I know it's still only the second period, but you can play with some comfort Tel Aviv trying to bring it back up. Here they come again, the Wolves. Down low, just contaminating that opposing zone, and it seems like all the wind is out of HC Tel Aviv sails. We get a stoppage of play because of a yellow and blue icing. Goal here, or at least limiting the lead to 2 goals by the end of the second period, which is still a ways away, would probably be most ideal for this struggling Tel Aviv team. But sailed back in, a 1-on-1 in the HC zone, and they hold. Cycling around their own net. Here come Tel Aviv. Defenseman winding his way in through the red line. Now the blue. Nice little move, but it didn't work for the 4th time. And the Wolves bring it back in for a little dump of change. Or at least a clear to get their skates under them. Now they finally do change. Tel Aviv pounce on the opportunity and scale the wall into the opposing zone. Again, thrown back in front. Tel Aviv at an open net, but they can't do it. Now another great look for Tel Aviv, and a point-blank save. Must be kicking themselves because they've had a decent amount of opportunities, just have not been able to convert. Face off now to the glove side. They'll try it again. The Wolves 4-1. And there's a trip. So for the first time in what seems like a long while, Tel Aviv get an opportunity to pounce on the puck. Now, Tel Aviv players, the only ones returning, most of them are going to be back on the ice. Mike Katz was last year's captain. He's one of 5 returning players. We also have Harry Blake, Joseph Finfer, and Kieran Garner. All 3 assistant captains on last year's team. Tel Aviv have an emphasis on loyalty to their captains. That's why they were all re-signed. Tel Aviv hold. Down a score of 4-1. They do have the power play to work with. Puck along the near side wall, scaled back out, stopped at the blue line, and they just waste as much time as possible. Puck on their stick. The Wolves, forward pass, almost intercepted off the shin guard. Now they get it again, and here they come, and on goal. Save made. The rebound was wide. They didn't get a chance to. Tel Aviv goaltender had to hop right back on the feet. Again, they fight for it. They go back around. Doesn't work from the blue line. A drive went wide. One more time. Held amongst the far side wall. Now in down low. Shot. That went wide as well. Now we might get a penalty. Or we might just get an offside call. So a Tel Aviv power play did start, but now it's broken up, and it's not, I guess, a good omen on your power play to lose the opening face-off. And now with a lot of speed, dashing in, thrown to the front, and a scorpion save made by the Tel Aviv goaltender. Played all the way back up ahead. That one didn't work. The Wolves wasting as much time as possible. You know, they've been good on the penalty kill, but it hasn't seemed to work right now. A drive. That one stopped. Down low they play for it. Still trying to fight for it. A break. Away chance now for the Wolves after the interception. And the shot went wide. Still though, despite the fact that they have less numbers, they play with it and are dangerous in the opposing zone. Shot saved, rebound kicked away. They battled for it down low. Not a goal, but it was inches away from crossing the line. The Wolves win the draw. Heavy slap shot from the line doesn't work. Fight for it again. It's been all green and black. All day, all period. So we get a cover and stop. Face-off won by the Wolves, but they can't manage to play. The puck hits on into their own zone. Now into neutral ice up the right wing. Putting on the break, the Wolves. They try to find it in their own zone. That doesn't work. And holds. Up and all the way around. The Wolves playing this game exactly as it was drawn up by their coaches. Thrown back around. Losing an edge was number 4. He didn't get tripped despite what it might look like on your screen. And it was rallied back into the far side. The Wolves have controlled every statistic, or good statistic that is, of this game so far. In through center, over the blue line. They cycle it back in underneath. Wolves break it back out of there. That was only for a second though, so it was knocked back in, and the forecheck over to the strong side of the ice. Played back all the way ahead. The Wolves, number 23, was just sent to the ice off the puck. Now in through center and in their own zone. Like Tel Aviv implementing the forechecking, it works. 2 Wolves tumble right in front of the net. Left her a lot of open ice, but Tel Aviv couldn't seem to take advantage of it. Here now through the right circle, waiting on a drive. It didn't work. Two players go head-to-head in the Tel Aviv zone. Taking it away, Tel Aviv, up the wall, a pass again. Losing his footing, one of the forwards down in. Wolves win the face-off and bring the puck back up, holding it in their own zone, doing as much as they can to kill the penalty. Tel Aviv is at their fair share of power plays. They've only been able to convert all game once. That's now in down low. Holding and trying to set up the diamond. With captain playing the bumper position. A shot, rebound was there. It was tipped all the way back and cleared out. Tel Aviv ready to start up again on the power play. Not a lot of time to go in the second period as we wait for the Zamboni intermission. Puck cycles all the way back in around. One more time up top. Into the far wall, a shot that was saved. Now they stop. Tel Aviv trying to set up shop. Just time is really winding down. Shot hit off of the cage, and Tel Aviv will have to go to win the puck again. All their forwards waiting by the opposing blue line, knowing the time constraints that hold them dearly. Back in over the right side, going right to the net, and a great save made by the Wolf goaltender. As the puck is cleared one more time. Again, Tel Aviv pushing the pressure back up ice. That one didn't work, but now some free time up the right circle. A shot, and they score. They cut the lead in half. Tel Aviv on their heels all period, and with a second to go in the power play, they make do. Remember, folks, in hockey, all it takes is 1 second to score a goal. Tel Aviv with new life they play as we really go into the third period. Shot by the Wolves, the rebound carried wide. Again, they try to play for it amongst the back wall. Still fighting for it. In fact, stabbing away at the puck. The cover. Face-off won by Tel Aviv, but we will head to our second intermission. Tel Aviv were on the ropes for the majority of the middle period, but at the tail end managed to cut the lead in half, and we'll find out what happens next, all on YouTube with IEHL. 4-2 is our score. The Wolves have absolutely been on the upset, but Tel Aviv is not going down without a fight. And I mean really going down. So we begin the third period. And here we go. The Wolves now taken away back in center ice. Tel Aviv playing with some energy. I'm sure after that absolutely late goal by Tel Aviv, by Hockey Club Tel Aviv, the coaches said something to the likes of, we were gifted that one, and now we have 17 minutes to score two, try to either bring this thing in overtime or win it. Pass can go farther to where it was intended to go. Now it's back in over at the blue line. A shot that was saved in front. Some trouble with it again. Stop. It's a play. 53 minutes gone by in this third period. Really interesting to see how Tel Aviv is going to attack. Are they going to play a modest style and just wait for their chances? Are they just going to shove everything they can onto the net? And they've ran into a hot goaltender, that's for sure. They'll try to go stick side and see what happens. But they'll play calmer. That's, one thing to hope if you're rooting for Tel Aviv. Face off won by the Wolves. They fired up the right boards. Puck doesn't work as it was shelled back on in underneath. Can't seem to make headway of it. Now it goes in behind the net. Some trouble with it as they go board play amongst the back side. Notice how, you got some big, strong players. Two players on Jerusalem. Two players in Jerusalem who played in the KHL. I mean, some of these guys well over 6'3". You notice that it is. Played up the left boards. Now they still try to fire it away as it was sent all the way around the net. And here they try to come out with it. A tumble leads to another Tel Aviv chance, or at least an opportunity to do so. Flung up the boards again. Now back over to the far side wall. They still try to fight for it. A shot that was just nearly sticked aside by the Tel Aviv tender, but the Wolves pushing their pressure back in underneath. The Wolves now up the right-handed wall, well in underneath. A great chance to set up and a diving stop. 4-2 our score remains. That could have been a death blow. Now, one more time at the other end, a centering pass that went wide. And the Wolves get it again. Back and forth hockey here in Ashdod as they still try to recoil for it. Tel Aviv and the Wolves playing for their first game in the 2025 campaign as the puck home runs itself over the near side boards, and will we get a center ice face-off? Wolves win the draw. A backhanded shot doesn't reach the net, and it leads to a rush for Tel Aviv. Pass goes into the far side wall. They still try to play for it. Now amongst the near side. Tel Aviv trying to center themselves in a high slot. It leads to a 2-on-run rush. The Wolves couldn't get their skates under them, and now the pass goes into the corner. Over to the blue line. Still amongst the wall. Back to the corner. Over to the line. Number 2 scoots in. Save made. Going back down. The Wolves score. Regain their 3-goal lead. A crucial goal for the Wolves. And now they're comfortable once again after about 4 minutes of play in the third period, coming back from that important second period chance. An, an absolutely crippling goal from the Wolves. Tel Aviv's uphill battle gets even steeper. The Wolves win the draw and now have all the momentum in the state of Israel to use in order to win this game. Fired up the wall. They still play with it. Again, in the Tel Aviv zone. They hold, everybody waiting, and now here they come. Drop back pass, fired up in the breakout, goes all the way around the Wolf net. One more time. Again, the puck plops out of the air and regathered now by the Wolves. Here they come up the wing, back over to the corner, holding up amongst the boards. And Tel Aviv will start out with it now. Notice that the Wolves are playing very carefully, not in their own end, not in the Tel Aviv end, but in the neutral zone to try to control the flow of play. Here comes Tel Aviv again, flying up the left side, a shot off wide angle, and therefore wide shot. Puck again bounces off the wall. Number 14 got hammered into the dasher. Still tried to play with it. 13 thought he had got a penalty or thought he didn't commit a penalty with 12:33 to go. Tel Aviv will head to the man advantage. So a face off in the neutral zone, won by Tel Aviv. They control it up the wall, fire it back in. Somebody lost it amongst the Wolf bench. Now 3-on-1, inching towards the opportunity, went wide. But Tel Aviv will cycle over to the right boards, curling with it in his own end. Now back over to the corner. Still some trouble. Puck went well into the opposing zone. And we'll try to work with it. Here comes Tel Aviv with a lot of speed in through center. Over to the right wing. Threw it on across. Lost sight of it, but still managed to keep it in the net in the zone. Another shot went wide, and they couldn't keep it in. Tel Aviv will try to give chase. Aviv in their own zone. Now back into neutral ice. Slowly. Penalty time getting less and less as we approach the midway point of the third period. In down low. Now back to the line. Scaled back out, thrown to the center area. That one didn't work. Tel Aviv able to keep it back in. 21's up top. He gets around, trying to find an angle. Rebound found by the Wolves, and they do such accordingly with a clear that banks off the boards. Here they come one more time. Tel Aviv. Still try to fight for it. It goes all the way around the boards. Onto the back. Now nobody's there. And the Wolves get it back out. It banks off the wall. It might have fell right into the stick of a Wolf player. Somebody went tumbling down. That'll lead to even more of a rush from Tel Aviv. A shot, and it blocked as it went wide. 5-2 our score. The Wolves have been in control of what is being deemed for now as a complete upset. They've had the game in the palm of their hand. Play it amongst the back of the wall. Now in through center. One-on-one battle starts, but slowly fades away as everybody joins the charge defensively and on offense. Puck hits the backside. Waved off. The Wolf attack still going on. A shot that got the goalie to be outstretched didn't work. Out into center, they both give chase. Five to two is our score. Here come the Wolves up the left wall. Somebody in the middle for them, but it was knocked back down. Pass up ahead. Tel Aviv, with just under 9 minutes to go, have to figure out how to score at least three and not give up any of their goals. Meanwhile, here come the Wolves. A shot save. Rebound was there, and a second save. They still play for it. The puck went free. Nobody could find it. Scale up the boards. Wolves still trying to fight for it now up the right side of the wall. Chopping for it in through center. And they play all the way back. The score is 5-2. Breakout pass doesn't work for the Wolves, but now with three Tel Aviv members back, the Wolves scale in. Here they come right towards the net. Shot was saved and immediately covered. Now a shot again they try. The Wolves can't hold it in. Still some trouble with it behind the net. Up the boards. Nobody there. Holding in through center. Good pass to break into the zone. Shot was saved, though, and scaled up wide. Stopped at the blue line. Now some trouble. In down low. Doesn't work. Fired across the 2-on-2 with multiple men trailing. Joining the rush number 23. Score still 5-2. They come back again. Over to their own blue line will clear. Both teams try to go for a change. Still fighting for it. 5-2 our score with about 6 minutes or so to go in the regulation. Tel Aviv down by three in the process of what could be an upset. Back in over to the corner wall. You fight for it. In through center. Tel Aviv get it one more time. They're down low. They still try to play for it. Nobody quite there. And now in as the play was broken up. The Wolves almost had an opportunity to pounce on it. No chance, though. And they still fight for it. The Wolves bring it back out in through center. Shot didn't work. Now on the backhand. Still not a second opportunity. But they play it back down low within their own zone. The Wolves will hold, looking for some leverage. Brought up the boards in through the red line. A shot and a glove save. Here come the Wolves again, looking for goal number 6, and an absolutely menacing hit near the benches as we approach the 5-minute mark. Thrown up into neutral ice, taken away one more time though. Offside is the call. Wolves win the draw, but unfortunately for them, it goes back to the Tel Aviv side. Tel Aviv will hold now in desperation mode with just under 5 minutes to go. Fired up the right wing, only as far as the blue line. The Wolves break it back out, 2-on-1 almost if the puck wasn't overshot, and icing is called. Club side face off to come. Puck bounces off the wing in through